Hi, welcome to Video Diary again. It's been a couple of weeks. Just getting back in the swing of things. This thumb's making life a little bit difficult, but I'm getting there, going really well. Probably come to the realization that also it's probably something I don't like to anthropomorphize onto horses, but we often see conditions, primarily back pain. To be honest, a lot of back pain we think is actually secondary. The incidence of primary back pain is probably low. More likely a horse is using itself a bit differently due to a lower leg injury. So that's in a large percentage of horses. So I actually have damaged my sacroiliac joint due to lifting on my left side, which is slightly injured thumb, because I'm lifting with my right. So it's something we really need to be aware of in horses when you're managing them. If you get primary back pain, why are we getting it? You know, the question is always why. Why are we getting that pain? Why are we doing this? What's the benefit? So just the last few days we've sort of been seeing a lot of lameness work. We've seen some back pain, but actually a lot of it's been due to chronic lower leg problems, such as knee pain. In racehorses will often get back pain just behind the saddle, or hocks and sacroiliac joints go very closely together, to be honest. So sometimes while the sacroiliac pain is quite easy to see and feel because you run your hand along and the horse drops to the ground, it's quite sore. Low grade hock pain can actually mean the horse is just stiff and it's trying to use its back more to move rather than drive with its legs. So just something to keep in mind. Changing the video diary around a little bit. Come to the realization I do a lot of the same stuff every day, so I think it gets boring for people. So in this next section I've actually answered a question that someone sent in, not a client, I think they're actually from South Australia, but really interesting question and something we all need to keep an eye on. So hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Speak soon, bye. So, I had a really interesting question on Facebook. Someone sent in a message a few weeks ago, and I do apologise about the length of time, but I was thinking of how to answer it. So the question was, is there a use for PRP into a deep digital flexor tendon in a foot? Now, before I answer the question, we always need to remember, do no harm. So any treatment we do, we're aiming to fix or improve a lesion or improve an injury. So let's just break it down into the anatomy. So most people will understand this is our pedal bone, navicular bone, P2, your posture joint, this is your coffin joint down here, and P1, fetlock joint, and your sesamoid bones. So let's break it down and have a look at what things we're looking for. So the specific question is a deep digital flexor. So deep digital flexor starts up above the carpus, runs down the leg, between the channel of the sesamoids, runs down here. At about this level here, we'll break off into two lobes. So this is the deep digital flexor, and then it runs round the back of the navicular bone and inserts here. So anyone that's dealt with laminitis will talk about the strain of the deep digital flexor on this toe region and causing the horse to rotate. So we've got a deep digital flexor tendon lesion. How do we identify those? Often we used to think X-rays were the be-all and end-all for lameness diagnosis, and they're very, very important with feet because they do tell us an awful lot. But as we're now realising, there's lots of ligaments and tendons in the foot that we can't image with normal means that we'd have in the field. So you do an MRI. So with an MRI, you're going to be able to see all the tendons and ligaments. So just to break it down, you've got your deep digital flexor coming through here. You have got collateral ligaments of the coffin joint. You're then also going to have the ligaments that hold the navicular bone in place. So proximal and distal ligaments into place. Your superficial digital flexor tendon, which is probably the most common injury in our racehorse, that runs down and splits into two. So it runs through here as well, and then it branches on, inserts down here. So we don't have to worry about the superficial digital flexor tendon in the foot. We're only dealing with the deep digital flexor. So to put this all in perspective, to try and understand where things are, if we then draw the hoof on top, your heel bulb's here, and you're going across. So that's probably a little bit big of a foot, but you get the impression that a lot of these tendon ligaments are enclosed within the hoof wall, so it's very hard to see them. Occasionally, this is probably a bit high, we will be able to see some of the collateral ligaments on the side on ultrasound, but generally the majority of the ligaments actually within the hoof capsule, so it's hard to see. So we do use MRI. We've now got a billable distributor to us, and it's a great tool to use. So we go back to the question. On MRI, a horse had a diagnosed tendon lesion within the foot, hoof capsule. Most of the time it's just proximal to insertion in this region here. So let's try and work out, can we treat it? So I've talked previously about PRP being a really useful tool. It is a really useful tool if we can get it into a core lesion. So by that I mean a hole or a dark spot within the tendon where we can inject it in. So let's try and put this size thing. So when we're looking from the back of the foot, you've got your navicular bone here. And we'll have the tendon, deep digital flexor running down here. And just about this level, it'll start to sort of lobe into a medial and lateral lobe. Now, to put a perspective on size of these might only be 3 or 4 millimeters thick. So as it runs past and then disappears under, it becomes very hard to image. So if you want to put PRP into a tendon within the foot, you need to be able to get a needle into it. So we go back to this drawing. If this is our most common site of a lesion, how do we get a needle into this deep digital flexor tendon? Now, to really be able to see where the needle is, we have to have an image at 90 degrees to it where we're putting the needle in. So up here, that's fine, that's quite easy to do. We'll have the ultrasound scanner back here, and we'll put the needle in from the side. So we'll be quite easy to be able to see, we'll be able to triangulate and get the needle into the lesion. When you're in the foot, it's a lot more difficult. So the only way you can actually really properly do it is using a CT scanner. That requires general anesthetic to do, and it also requires a lot of skill to get the needle into the lesion. Next thing we've got to consider is how much volume can we get in. So superficial digital flexor tendon lesions will put in maybe 1 to 2 mils, and that's because the volume of the tendon is probably the size of your thumb. Down here, it's probably half the size of your finger. So yes, you might be able to get a needle in, but you may not actually get enough volume of PRP into the lesion. So in short, PRP, while it's great for tendon and ligaments, you have to be very careful that you don't cause more damage by putting high volumes in, and also you get it in the region, the exact region. So when in the past we might have done PRP into a diffuse tendon lesion, we haven't had great results. So you've got to consider as well, we will do some damage to this tendon ligament, we stick a needle into it. So if you've got a very small tendon or ligament, putting a needle in it can actually cause quite a lot of damage. So to answer the person's question, we would advise against putting PRP into a deep digital flexor tendon in the foot, because we think we can actually do more damage than we can actually help your horse. So not only is it technically exceptionally difficult, but it's also potentially doing more harm than good. So your horse is then diagnosed with this here type of lesion. Your farrier is going to be your king here, so you're going to have to do farrier work and time. So, like with anything, once we start diagnosing conditions, then we can start more treatment modalities. But at the minute, your farrier and your time are your key to treat these lesions, not any biological products at this stage. So, I hope those answers the questions. Please do keep them coming. I'm trying different ways and means to try and see if we can answer them in a better way. I think this was quite a difficult one. I was struggling with a few weeks how to answer it, so I think this one, hopefully I've answered it for you. Any questions? Drop us a message and we'll happily answer them. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Bye.